My name is Paul Stevens. People call me PJ, and one of my jobs can aptly be described as a performance coach. In other words, I'm interested in helping you perform even better. I'm helping you do what you do even better with more success and less stress. And in order to do this, some of the things I talk about are called champion behaviours. The champion behaviour I want to introduce to you now and talk about is thoughts. To champion your thoughts. Now, there's an old saying that says people become what they think about most of the time. Well, we know that teenage boys don't become topless pin-up models. Well, most don't. But think about what you think about. What do you get attracted to? What do you focus on? What do you think about? Successful salespeople think about selling successfully. Successful sports people think about being successful in their individual sport, in their world. Thoughts are absolutely vital for your success. I believe that if you can think something, then you can do something. Think back in history, for example, at the wonderful things that have happened. Think about some of the engineering that we've created, some of the bridges, or what about the pharmaceutical breakthroughs? We put somebody on the moon, and we had to think about doing that first. It started as a thought. So let's think about your thoughts. What do you focus on? Perhaps some of you like gardening. If you're interested in gardening, you will know that beautiful roses don't grow by accident. If you leave your garden, if nothing happens, if you just leave it, then sadly, weeds tend to grow. Weeds are like negative thoughts. They tend to grow much more easily. If we want a rose garden, we need to plant roses, tend to them, nurture them, love them, care for them, shape them, trim them, water them, and so on. This is why it's so important to think about what you want, to think about the positive and grow those positive thoughts. Some years ago in the States, there was a study done. They took a bunch of basketball players and they split them into 3 groups. One group carried on practicing shooting baskets. One group were asked to do nothing at all. The third group were asked just to mentally think about, mentally rehearse shooting and scoring baskets. And at the end of the session, at the end of their program, what they found out was that the people that had done nothing got a little bit worse. The people that had practiced continuously were about the same, done the same as they'd always done, and 1 or 2 got marginally better. But the people that had continually spent time thinking positively, creating positive thoughts, and only taking their mind to the gym to work that out, improved noticeably. Therefore, if you practice thinking positively about what you want, you will improve your performance. And we tested this out with some young guys on a putting green. And what we did was we asked them to take an imaginary putter and 3 imaginary golf balls, and just to have 3 putts at this hole, 3 imaginary putts. And then we asked them afterwards how many they hold. And we noticed things like this. They'd have a putt. I missed that one. Then they'd have another go. Yeah, I hold that putt, that was a good putt. And then maybe they'd hold the 3rd one or perhaps even miss it. Now think about it. There's no ball and there's no putter. The only way then that you could miss that putt was to think about missing. And the only way to hold that putt is to think you have holed it. So we took that information. I worked with some professional golfers. One of them was on the driving range, the practice range at one of the very, very big tournaments, one of the European tournaments. And I was chatting to him just about his golf game. And he said, you know what, and I think he had a 5 iron at the time, 5 or 6 iron. He said, every time I hit this 5 or 6 iron, I keep pulling it left. And he had a club and a ball, and I watched him. And lo and behold, these balls were going long and left, big hook on his golf shot. And I chatted and I said to him, what I'd like you to do now is put the club down, put the ball down, and I want you to use an imaginary golf club and an imaginary golf ball. And so we did it, put a ball down, and bearing in mind there's some of his colleagues lined up, as you know, along the practice range at some of these big golf tournaments looking at him, and he took out an imaginary 5 iron, went through his routine with an imaginary golf ball, and he hit his shot. And I went, that wasn't great. And he said, no, I hit it left. I said, have another go, took it out. I said, no, he said, look, I'm not striking this well. So we had a chat, and I said, well, bearing in mind that there's no golf club, there's no golf ball. Therefore, the only reason you're hitting a bad shot is because you're thinking about hitting a bad shot. So then I asked him, with his imaginary golf club and his imaginary golf ball, to imagine hitting some perfect shots, some fantastic golf shots. He said, wow, I feel great. That's amazing, look at the way I'm hitting it. And yet there was no golf ball and no golf club. Subsequently, when he actually took out his golf club again and and struck some shots, they were much better. They weren't perfect. The technique needed to be worked on, and I'm not a golf coach directly, so therefore he can go off and do that. But the fact is, his performance improved noticeably from just thinking about it positively. Sometimes golfers will think about what they don't want. I don't want to hit it in the lake. I don't want to hit it in the rough. Now, here's a little activity just for you to do now. Don't think of a pink elephant. Whatever you do, don't think of a pink elephant. Now, I know this is just like a fun kids activity, but what happened? What did you do? Well, you thought of a pink elephant, didn't you? You had to. What happens was you go to your brain and pull out a file on it that says pink elephant, and then you have to open it. Oh, that's a pink elephant. That's what I must not think about. And then you've got to put it away. The problem is you've already got that file out, haven't you? So if I say to you, golfers, don't hit the ball in the water, or if you're thinking to yourself, don't hit the ball in the water, what have you got to do? You go to the brain, you pull out the lake file, says lake, you open up lake. Now you're picturing it. And underneath there might be some experiences. Oh, the last time I played this golf hole, I hit it in the lake, I dropped 3 shots, and all those negative feelings come with it. So what we want you to do is think about what you want to happen. I want to hit the ball up the fairway, 285 yards, up the left-hand side, on a lovely patch of grass, which will give me a great shot in for my second to set me up for a birdie. Think about where you want to kick the football into the net. Whereabouts do you want to score your penalty? Where do you want to hit the ball up the fairway? And open the right file. Think about what you want to happen. Remember, people become what they think about most of the time. So let's think about where the golf ball wants to end up, not where you don't want it to end up. So for today, champion thoughts, champion your success. Picture perfectly. Take that one away to the gym, work it out, and enjoy your success.